self delusion? No, self illusion? No, that's
Delusion.
Yeah.
What would a self-illusion be?
yeah. yeah.
Can you do magic?
You can't
yourself?
see me.
Is that like you can't tickle yourself? You can't do magic to yourself?
Oh, I can tickle myself, all right?
He's got to find the right alphabet spot.
yeah. That's true, though. I mean, you can't tickle yourself. What else can't you do to yourself? That when someone else do it, it's on second thought. Let's not go there. So, move along.
Yes.
Oh, I had to laugh today. My phone has been playing up today, so I got home and there was a few messages to come back to, including your morning message, Haavard. And it was 4.5 minutes of you just wittering on, saying that every 20 seconds, I'm going to stop now wittering on and boring you, and blah, blah, blah. But you didn't. You just carried on.
That must have been a new record for you. First I thought, something happened, something really serious. What's he talking about for this long?
I did actually wonder when it passed the 4-minute mark, is this the longest message sent? And of course, I don't remember, and I can't bother to check. Then I thought this would be a nice reel, and of course I asked Glenn to make an intro for that, so I could make the reel. And I made the reel come in at exactly under 5 minutes because I thought that was the length limit on the reel now, but it turns out it cut it at 3 minutes, but even then it's a long reel. Hello, we got a guest.
Hello. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
That was the quickest guest so far.
Yeah, but she made the list, so you should
give her a sticker in a bit.
Yeah.
Should have made her make an intro.
I think she got all embarrassed when she got in front of the camera then. I'm sorry, I've missed what you were talking about then. What were you saying?
He got distracted himself.
I did.
Yeah, it was something about lengths. And yeah, no, I remember the real length of Instagram is 3 minutes, turns out. So it cut 2 minutes off that rant. But nobody noticed. When I listened to it, it just cut off and like, yeah, that was fine. Nobody needs the 2 last minutes. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was good fun there. Knocking out those few video clips today.
Yeah, you were really on a roll there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel like it, sometimes you don't. Today I felt like it.
Apparently.
Yeah. Sometimes you get a good idea and then you just roll with it. Yeah.
I mean, it is kind of fun when you get that prompt. Could you please record yourself saying this? Okay, I wonder why.
I love asking that question. I've never been refused yet. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's also fun because you don't have to give too much detailed instruction.
No.
You just like, here's an idea, just play along, and then yeah, everything I've gotten in return has been brilliant so far.
Maybe you should try that with some more famous makers. See what you can get to your videos.
Well, yeah. The problem is you don't get replies. I mean, the ones I've sent something just asking for permission to use a video clip, no reply. And I saw, I think it was Emily, the engineer. She was going to reach out to another YouTuber because she needed a reference or something. And like, she said she had to spam the person's DMs for weeks until she got a reply. And then I'm thinking if huge YouTubers struggle to contact other huge YouTubers for a collaboration, then of course, what's the point in even trying?
Yeah, yeah, that might be true.
Sorry, I can't chip in here. My wife just came home. So that's another few seconds I've lost to the podcast.
Yeah, someone just instantly
Keep your family out
took
of
your
this,
tongue
Glenn.
there. Yeah.
Sorry. They all just arrived home within minutes of each other.
Yeah.
And here you're sitting with that bird record on full volume. And
I've changed it slightly. Have you noticed anything different?
this is the B side.
It's the B side. This includes a pigeon in the background. This one.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
We got. I think it's the same pigeon couple that's been there for the last couple of years. They're doing their pigeoning thing close by, and they're sitting on our power lines and making noises. And then another weird thing when we moved here, like I saw a bird, and it's like, is that a pheasant? No, it surely it can't be. I mean, it looks like it, but I've only seen and heard about them in the movies, so I had to go and look it up. And
Oh, really?
yeah, it's a pheasant. And I'm like, talked to one of the neighbors. It's like, I saw a pheasant here the other day. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. We've seen them for years because there was someone at a farm not far away. They had like a sanctuary, or they were breeding them, and then some of them escaped, and they just live in the wild now. And one of them is just around here because they are very territorial. So he's just walking around in our yard and up on the road amongst the neighbors and just making sounds and owning the place basically. So
We have loads of them.
yeah,
Yeah, they
it's
breed them here for hunting.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
and
of course.
it is on the colder side here, so it shouldn't really thrive or survive in the winters. And they're not migrating birds, but maybe just migrating to a barn somewhere, and then yeah.
Went to see Steve at the weekend,
Yeah.
and he gave me some electronics that he bought about 15, 16 years ago. So that's another project. He gave me a signal generator. These when he was doing his music degree at university.
How to tell anyone you're a hoarder without telling anyone you're a hoarder.
Yeah.
Oh, I got some
Yeah.
electronics kits for you.
Sorry about this, Steve, but he does advertise the fact that he's a hoarder every time you go to his house. But I got a signal generator, which I didn't know what it was. Or I'd forgotten what it was. I messaged you guys and said I got one, and KJ said it's this. And then I remembered I actually wanted one a while ago. And I also got an infrared switch. So maybe combined they could make some sort of weird electronic instrument thingy.
Yeah.
Quite possible.
Which is probably why Steve bought them in the first place.
Yeah, him talking about that music art thingy that he made with, was it birds? Some
Yeah,
chemical
they were
things in trees.
tin cans with cams in them, basically, that
Yeah.
rattled and made noises. Yeah.
Speaking about that, I might order some parts because I got the thing for, I call it the yes box. So here's the prototype. Should I? Question mark. And then you just press the button. But once I uploaded your audio clips to that module, it just randomly cuts some of the recordings in half without I understanding why. So I might pay £2 for a new one and wait a couple of weeks in shipping. But that also got me thinking: should I buy one of those small USB sticks with the random noise generator that we talked about earlier? And then I was gonna, do you want some? Because you can buy them in 5, 10s, or 20s. So just let me know, and I can add them to the shopping list and get free shipping.
Hell yeah. Always up for some random noise.
Yeah.
That's why I joined you two on a Tuesday.
Yeah. The a random noise generator. Yeah, that could have been a.
That could have been this podcast.
It could. I just saw we got a message. I just see the title from Kevin Sharkey. Ah, the random gardening tool. ... And I don't see the rest of the message. So, wonder what that is. Have you been uploading pictures of gardening tools? No.
Oh no, he's listened to the episode where we talk about where I posted the pictures of the
Oh yeah.
random garden tools. Now we understood.
But I mean, you made your truffle or whatever it's called, and
Trowel.
then yeah, and then you made it with a long handle, and like, fuck yeah, finally someone gets it. And then I saw your picture. Is this too long? No, it's not long enough. God damn it! I thought you said you were gonna make a long handle, and then you make this short people toothpick. What's going on? Why did you chicken out?
I mean, I think it's that I've made a really small head or blade. I mean, what do you call it? Do you say?
Yes, in shovel head or shovel.
Is it head you say of the thing you put in the ground?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. The head is really small, so the body looks weird.
Yeah, that's what she
I think
said.
that's a problem.
They do. You can buy long handled trowels here though, KJ.
Yeah, you can buy them here as well, but
Yeah.
I'm not feeling it. I hope it will look better when I paint it.
Just chop it down then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if I've done that, there's no going back if you chop it down. I can't be arsed to make a new one.
Make a new handle that incorporates a knuckle duster as well.
I love it because I really wanted to. I mean, it's basically a joke, but now I really want to make a shovel, a real heavy metal shovel with a long handle, and then of course I'm gonna get some 6mm steel offcuts somewhere, and I can shape them into a triangle kind of shape and weld it together, and then get some round bar for the handle. And yeah, like brass knuckles on the tip. Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be. I'm gonna do that. It's gonna be the.
You can have the brass knuckles because I went in the more like a gauntlet. Because I mean, one thing if you're too aggressive when digging in the ground, you scrape your knuckles. So have something to protect it, and then it go well with one trowel with a long handle. You can use that as a shield and a.
Here's another direction you could take it in then, KJ. You could make it look like a microphone and send it off to Martina, your best friend Nerdforge, because she always uses a trowel to talk into, doesn't she?
She does that, yeah.
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 So you can make a trowel look like a microphone.
She doesn't need a bigger one. She needs a smaller one.
That's what she said.
I don't know what you were talking to her about, but
that would be cool though. Make a trowel microphone. Should be relatively easy. Yeah.
Speaking of Nerdforge, their latest video with the Terry Pratchett book.
Yeah.
That is bloody amazing.
But it is. I feel conflicted because I just felt like an old geezer at some point because I saw the project and my first thought was, that's going to be a pain in the ass to read, because I don't like the big full volume books when you're trying to lay on bed and read, because they are heavy and it's like you try to lay on the side while putting it, but then it's not like they're too big to put on a stand or whatnot. And like the first thing I thought, I'm not going to fit that in my bed. So it's like, yeah, I missed the concept altogether. I had to.
It was more of an art piece.
Yeah, I had to pull myself up and say like, get a grip.
Yeah, but I do like all the gears thingies. But that made me wish I had some kind of workshop robot so I can make functioning gears without being mad at my own skill at using a saw and that sort of thing, because I don't think that would work very well.
Yeah.
But having a 3D printer or a CNC or a laser or anything that could cut for me in a
Just get a scroll saw, KJ. You know, we're both pretty good on
Yeah,
those, aren't we?
because I
I did get to the bottom of that. Did I talk about that?
yeah, that the blade was not really.
Yeah, it's had a kink in it.
Yeah.
That being said, though, I mean, making a book wheel like that, you could add a camera and then you could have some AI, so it would actually then convert it into an audiobook for you. So you just pull the handle and it reads for you.
Pretty sure you can get Terry Pratchett books as audiobooks already.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's totally beside the point.
I mean, what you could, what this could be used for that nothing else could is have it set so it does put like a streaming camera on it and have a constantly going through all the books, so it turns the pages automatically what in a reasonable time it takes to read 2 pages. You just have it going continuously round and round and round.
Yeah, it's a bit like one of those. Simone Yates made that Moon version of it. Sort of
Yeah, the
incorporate that sort.
flippy
Yeah,
clock.
yeah,
Exactly.
that sort of mechanism into it. Yeah.
But that's also a big arty thingy. Yeah. So it's not practical in any sense. But everything doesn't have to be practical.
No, if you just call it art, you can get away with anything.
Yeah. So what are your next art? What do you want to get away with?
That's a good question, though. I don't have an art piece in mind, unless it's more. I mean, it's art when it's an installation. I want to do the replica of the Norwegian phone booth, but it needs to be erected in some conspicuous place to make the local newspaper. I mean, it doesn't take much to make the local newspaper, so I'm not setting the bar high.
But that's your goal. You want that sweet.
You have to share a
recognition
picture of
again.
what it looks like.
Yeah. And then I don't think I have an art piece on the calendar, but I'm gonna do cosplay first. It's fun that because my daughter here the other day saw the Christine car, and she said like, "Yeah, you're not using this Halloween because you used it twice." Like that was sassy for a 6 or 7 year old. So yeah, okay, I get it. So I'm gonna make the Wallace and Gromit trousers, and
Cool.
that's a deadline for Halloween. And then of course making the body of the pants. Do you call them that? Not sure. That should be relatively easy, but the rubber bellows as feet. That's gonna be a challenge. Be making something because the can you go to the fabric store and get rubber? Most likely not. And I thought I could go to Biltema and get some inflatable bicycle, but I mean, still the cheapest ones. If like you times them up by 20, I mean, it's too much
Mm.
money to spend. And yeah,
You get the plastic drainage or plastic pipes, can't you? Which is like a corrugated effect.
yeah. But but the weird thing is, if they're going to be big enough for you to get your feet in them, they become kind of pricey because it's not like the usual stock. So it's basically yeah,
But
specialist
you,
stores and whatnot.
but you said you've got tiny feet though. You get into your wife's shoes. I remember you distinctly saying that
Yeah, I
in
did.
an earlier episode.
Yeah. So no. And speaking of shoes, that is one of the issues because the lower part, the shin, is very narrow because it's a stop motion movie. They don't have to care about physics, but my legs are that thin. But I am gonna make the shoes. I'm gonna just make them as hollow covers that go over my sneakers, so I can actually walk comfortably. Because I
Yeah.
see a lot of these cosplayers like they're dying inside their costumes. They are sweating and they're not comfortable. Yeah, that's going to be my priority number one. It's going to be comfortable to wear.
Yeah, I think the heat in cosplay has got to be the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Those costumes do look hot.
Yeah, or I mean, they seldom look like they have a correct amount of stuff on them. Either
Yeah.
they're almost naked or they got 57 layers.
Yeah.
There's nothing in between.
Which is why I'll never get into cosplay, because I can only go in one direction.
I mean, Glenn the Barbarian, I think that would be a good one.
I don't think so.
Uh, but how about you, KJ? You talked about you want to do some more art. Do you have any ideas? You said you needed ideas for a next project. Maybe it's
Yeah,
the artsy one.
the most artsy thing I have on my list is some ideas I have for pewter casting.
Oh, wow.
Because I did that as a kid and had lots of fun with it. But now I've never been fond of just using the molds that you get with them, because that's just boring. Some kind of soldiers or something like that.
Buy a 3D printer.
No, but I have a friend with a 3D printer.
Oh yeah, those are nice.
No, but I have some ideas to try out, and I actually bought some. Oh, what could that be called? Pewter casting silicone, I think it is. So it's it's silicone made to stand the heat even better than the regular.
Yeah.
To make my own molds and
What will
play
you
with
make?
that.
What will you make the original thing out of that you'll then make the mold with?
That is a good question. I have some ideas for from things I would like to make a metal replica of, so to say.
Oh, okay.
To start with, to see how well it works, and then it could very well be that I dabble in commission some 3D prints or something like that to see if that can be done. But I have some, just play around with it and see if it works.
Cool.
Because I bought like a shitload of pewter the other, last summer, because I thought I should do it, and then it's just been laying there on a shelf, taking up space in the workshop. And I even got a mobile hot plate, so I can do it outside, and that sort of thing. So I'm all set for it. I just have to do it, decide to do it.
Is it a similar sort of melting point to lead, do you think?
Yes, it's very similar. I mean, old pewter is got quite a bit of lead in it, the old kind.
So I used to do a lot of lead moulding, and I had a hot plate, and that was really slow, but a little gas stove was much quicker.
Oh yeah,
Little camping stove, just in case it gets a bit slow for you.
Talking of lead, though, I got new soldering lead, which was lead free, because it turned out that I bought lead, proper lead, as it turns out, several years ago, and of course, when you're buying like 250 gram of that stuff, you never run out. And then I sat here the other day, and I tried to not inhale the fumes, and I always but I don't have a fan and an extractor, and it's probably nice. It's not the good old stuff with lead in it. And then I'm like, but have I ever read on the? No, and I turn it around. Yep, this got lead in it. So yeah, I swapped it out, so don't need to sit and breathe that.
keep that for your outdoors soldering.
Yeah.
Just blow at the smoke. That's what I do.
Sure, the lead,
Yeah, that's what I do.
Free,
Keep your breath.
the
and blow
lead-free
it.
stuff is much better for you.
Yeah.
It's harder to work with, so it takes twice as long, perhaps, so you get more.
Yeah.
I've never paid any attention. It's just solder. I just never paid any attention to what it actually is.
Yeah. And that got me thinking, though. I need to. I'm gonna put a nipple on the fire extinguisher tank, and then on the other side, I would like to have a dip tube or whatever it's called inside. But should I make that out of steel and weld it? But welding on this small cap, it might warp and so on. So it's just going to be inside and it's not going to see too much pressure. So could I just use, I mean, silver soldering or whatever it's called, the plumbing soldering, and that might work. Maybe, I don't know. I'll give it
That
a try.
depends on the pressure, I would say, but
Yeah, but
it could work.
it's not going to hold any pressure. What's holding the pressure is the nipple for connecting the air hose to the outside.
Oh yeah, it shouldn't be a problem.
No.
I probably just
think-
use resin.
Yeah, probably could. Or I do have the threading tool, so I could also just thread the hole on the inside and the outside of the copper tube
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
That's probably even simpler, but you
Yeah.
don't get to use a torch.
Yes,
You can always add a bit of solder for good measure afterwards, can't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
to make sure it really never comes apart, and then fuck. Yeah.
Must remember next time I order from China actually to get a tap and die set for threading.
Yeah. I got mine at the local hardware store, and it costs next to nothing.
Yeah.
What really annoys me is I've used it a couple of times in aluminium, and that really clogs off the tools, and it's a pain in the ass to get out afterwards. So, yeah, I'm gonna try not to work as much with aluminium.
I don't
That
think I
bird
ever
is really
noticed you.
going at it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Me and Michelle looked out the kitchen window. I think it was only yesterday. There's a couple of pigeons there, and they looked ever so cute. I said, "Oh, look at the lovebirds." And she came and had a look. One jumped on the other, instantly started shagging it. She's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
proper
that's not
love.
love, I don't know what is.
yeah."
I wonder how many podcasts have this bird background soundtrack.
I thought you were gonna say range in topics. But
Yeah,
yeah.
Might
it's,
as well.
The bird track is especially loud tonight. It's 24 degrees in the office tonight. It's just too hot, so I've left the door open. So
Oh.
sorry. Yeah, we're a little bit more connected than normal to them.
Yeah. Our listeners are. Please get in touch. Do you like the birds or do you hate the birds?
If you hate the birds, I do have a couple of guns in the workshop. I can go and sort a few of them out. Let me know.
A local man arrested for shooting in the neighborhood.
They've got to catch me first.
Yeah, if you're lucky, next time you're over, we might have pheasant for dinner. That's what I'm building up to. I'm just making contraptions, conditioning the neighbors to loud bangs and flashes and everything. And then one day I'm just gonna go out with a shotgun. And wham! Dinner served.
Concerned.
Not well. Flavor is one thing, but then it's like you need 10 birds to to feel anything afterwards. Yeah.
And half of the meat is buckshot. So
Yeah. Well, I do like a bit of texture when chewing. So. But then again, after the band led, it's now the stainless steel ones, and it's hard on your teeth. So yeah. So is that it? That was it.
I think so.
Good
Sounds
night.
like it. Bye.
One and a half hours. That's the perfect split. I can just
Yeah.
use the timeline and just cut it here, intro, outro.
It says 120 on mine. Just
Yeah.
yeah, that's okay. Just checking.
This is going to be interesting. For a few times during the recording, I had like lost internet connection, reconnect, and you're like, and then you spoke really fast while catching up to the recording. So, not
Yeah,
sure
we
how
had
that will.
you were glitching a couple of times, so I guess that was it.
Yeah.
All the problems are in your end.
Yeah, little glitch.
As always. Yeah.